ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow morning will kick off the first match of the 2024 Political World Cup as 44-day election marathon kicks off with the 102 seats in 21 states going for polls. The openers are all padded up across these seats in these states and 4 union territories. The battle in round 1 will be fought in Western UP, Bihar, Rajasthan, Arunachal Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. Will there be winds of change blowing, or will India vote for the continuity and guarantee of Modi? Here on the NewsHour, we will do a pre-match analysis and get you the strike rates and hit wickets. Will Modi magic spin a hat-trick, or can Rahul Gandhi revive the dwindling run rate of the India alliance? But even before the battle in the political hustings can begin, a battle is being fought yet again in the courtrooms. The Supreme Court is hearing a clutch of petitions on EVMs. One of the petitioners wants all VVPAT slips to be deposited in a ballot box. Advocate Prashant Bhushan has demanded that the light on the VVPAT machine should remain on at all times instead of the 7 seconds when a voter presses the button. Advocate Sanjay Hegde sought a separate audit to add greater credibility to the counting process. But what did the Supreme Court say to all of them? Pulling them up, the court said, and I quote, "Everything can't be suspected. Appreciate if they have done something good. Every time, everything cannot be criticized. If something has to be improved, then tell us. Enough of this over suspicion. If 5% VVPATs are to be counted, or 30% or 40%, that is for the Election Commission to decide." With no respite from the courtroom, fear-mongering over EVMs has already begun. While the court reserves its final verdict, it was Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee who said that BJP may just put a chip in the EVM. Look at how Home Minister Amit Shah responded to this by saying, "Nach na jane, angan tera." Listen yourself.
जो भी हो जाए, वोट देना है, और वोट देने का बाद अच्छे से देख लो वोट वीवीपैट में ठीक से पड़ रहा है कि नहीं पड़ रहा है। और वोट का बाद वोट का मशीन भी संभाल के रखना, नहीं तो सेंट्रल पुलिस को देखे उसमें चिप घुसा दे सकता है। आई कैन नॉट ट्रस्ट बीजेपी, दे आर डेंजरस देन एनीबॉडी एल्स। और ये इलेक्शन सबसे डेंजरस इलेक्शन है। इसका बाद और कोई चुनाव नहीं होगा। एनआरसी चालू हो जाएगा, सबको कैंसिल कर देगा।
प्रियंका गांधी कह रही है 180 सीट नहीं आए अगर ईवीएम मशीन का हो, गड़बड़ी ना हो।
तो जिस असेंबली चुनाव में कांग्रेस जीती थी वो ईवीएम सही देखा। नाचना ना आए आंगन टेढ़ा, इस थियोरी के साथ कांग्रेस आगे बढ़ रही है।
राहुल गांधी कह रहा है कि लोकतंत्र खतरे में है,
कांग्रेस का भविष्य खतरे में।
Well, then let's deep dive into some numbers that will really determine which way this is going, because after all, elections are about strike rates, run rates, and the data that comes up. Let's first look at the Congress's strike rates over the years. In 1991, they fought 244 seats out of 500. The strike rate was 49%. In 1996, 141 over 529, a strike rate of 26%. In 1998, the strike rate was 30%. This went down to 25% in 1999. In 2004, when they made a comeback and got into government as the single largest party, it was a strike rate of 35%, and this improved to 47% in the elections of 2009, and this fell to 9% in 2014. 2014 when they won only 44 out of the 464 seats that they contested. In 2019, this figure was 12%. This time around, how much will they need? We will go to that number, but first let's take a look at now the BJP strike rate. And if we look at the BJP's numbers, 1991, 120 out of the 468 seats that they contested, it was a strike rate of about 25.6%. 161 out of 471 in 1996, 34.2%. In 1998, this went up to about 46.9% because they contested fewer seats, 388. In 1999, they contested even lesser seats, 339, and their strike rate improved to 53.7%. In 2004, the India Shining debacle, and that was 37.9%. And then in 2009, 26%, which improved to 65.9, almost 66% under Modi in 2014, and then improved to about 70% in 2019. Let's take a look at what is the required run rate and strike rate that the BJP will need to get. Let's put those numbers on the screen. The strike rates required. The BJP, if they're meeting their target of 370 for the BJP alone, out of the 431 that they have contested this time around, they will need a strike rate of 85.8%. Is that an easy, achievable target if they have to reach 370 seats, which is the target? And for the NDA, let's look at the 400 par target. What will the NDA require? Well, 400 out of the 543 seats, that's going to be a 73.6% strike rate that the alliance will need to get. And that is the formula that the BJP will have to look at. For the Congress party, which is supposed to be the largest party, it will have to win either 272 out of 330 if it wants to make a government on its own, and that will be a strike rate of 82.42%, something nobody's ever got, this kind of percentage. What the BJP is also putting itself a target for 85%. Well, I don't know if it's possible. So these are the strike rates they'll have to get if they want to form a government alone, and if it is with other political parties, well, the task will get easier for the Congress party. Now, let's take a look at Modi, Rahul Gandhi head-to-head. How have they fought in elections? Rallies by the Prime Minister so far are 36. Rallies by Rahul Gandhi are 16. And out of these 36 rallies that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has done, most of you will have noticed that many of them are in the south. Uttar Pradesh, 30 rallies, seats won 23. This is data from 2019, strike rate of 76%. In Modi rallies, 142 in 2019, and seats won by the NDA were 114. That's a strike rate of 80%. On the other hand, let's look at how Rahul Gandhi's strike rate was. Okay, first let's go to Madhya Pradesh. 11 rallies, seats won 11 by Modi. That's a 100% strike rate. In Bihar, 9 out of 9 wherever Modi campaigned. Chhattisgarh, 3 rallies, 2 seats won. That's a 66%. West Bengal, 16 seats, 16 rallies, 8 seats, 150%. Odisha numbers are 62.5% is Modi's strike rate. Assam, 100% strike rate for Narendra Modi. Maharashtra, Gujarat, again a 100% strike rate, and it's difficult for anybody to get an 80%, above 80% strike rate. Look at the Karnataka strike rate as well, 100%. Kerala, well, 20%, but that's to be expected, BJP. Let's also look at Rahul Gandhi's strike rate. Rahul Gandhi, well, 115 total rallies, Constituencies visited 105. Seats won by the Congress party 18. Strike rate of 17% compared to 80+% strike rate of Narendra Modi in 2019. In Madhya Pradesh, 17 rallies by him, 1 seat won. That's a 6% strike rate. Let's look at the next rate. Rajasthan, 12 rallies, 0 seats, 0 strike rate. Uttar Pradesh, 12, 1 seat won. That is 8.33 is the strike rate. Haryana, 8 rallies, 0 seats won by Rahul Gandhi and the Congress. Delhi, 4 rallies, 0 seats. Gujarat again, 0 seats, 4 rallies done there. And Uttarakhand, 4 rallies, again 0 seats, which is why the strike rate is at 17% for Rahul Gandhi compared to 80+ percentage points for Narendra Modi. So this is what the equation is all about. Now let's look at some other numbers. And these numbers are who are the big fights that, who are the big people and the big faces going into the fights tomorrow. We'll get to that. But seats won by the Congress, 2019 report card. Congress's strike rate was about 24 seats were won. In the direct contest with BJP, a strike rate of about 13% out of the 186 direct fights, whereas the BJP had an 87% strike rate in direct contests with the Congress party. And this is what the BJP loves to do. We'll also show you the candidates, but if this is what is on the cards, what are we looking at when we go to polls with the first round of polling tomorrow? Let's go straight across to our panel. Joining me this evening is Nalin Kohli, national spokesperson of the BJP. Also joining me tonight in our studios, Tehseen Poonawalla, Congress supporter, political analyst, call him what you will. I also have cephalogist Jay Mrug, our resident cephalogist, joining this broadcast. Dr. Anand Ranganathan, author, scientist, political analyst, Sabha Naqvi, very senior journalist, has seen many elections. Dr. Suman Siraman, a man who has been with us in many elections and has his ear to the ground in the south of India. And with this kind of a strike rate that we are looking at, I want to begin with you, Tehseen. 17% is the success rate of Rahul Gandhi in converting his rallies into seats, 80+% Narendra Modi. Will this actually happen? And is this a tall order? And is that why the EVM bahana has already started with Priyanka Gandhi Vadra saying 180 seats mein wrap up ho jayegi agar EVM theek chale to?
So good evening, Navika. Thank you so much for having me on the show. 2 or 3 things, let's address each one very quickly. No doubt the Prime Minister is the most popular leader in the country and has a fantastic strike rate. There's no doubt about it. But that is history. I mean, Sachin Tendulkar undoubtedly was the greatest batsman ever to have played, at least in my era. But there are times Sachin, who had a fantastic strike rate, got out on a 0. So 2024 is a new election. While the data of 2019 is extremely important, and 2014, and I concede to the fact that Mr. Modi has never lost an election, well, sometimes you get out on a 0. And I do believe firmly the people of this country are fighting against the BJP. Everyone's against the BJP. Where will the BJP get its 80% strike rate from? Forget 80, even the 12% strike rate of the Congress, where will the BJP get it from? Women are against BJP, farmers are against BJP, army men are against BJP, teachers are against BJP, youngsters are against BJP. Who's voting for the BJP? BJP supporters. I was in Maharashtra before I flew here, and I'm not making this up. And I think the people are who had this conversation with me watch times now. A doctor couple who've always voted BJP tell me, why should we vote BJP when we voted against Ajit Pawar and Chhagan Bhujbal? Today they are with BJP. Everyone is angry with the BJP. Their BJP is getting tomorrow in Tamil Nadu as many seats at the Prime Minister's press conferences, 0. In the 102 seats tomorrow going to polls, BJP is going to face its massive defeat. And from here the moment it will go. I not only stand by Priyanka Gandhi.
Why are you
160
crying
for
about
the BJP.
EVMs? Why are you crying about
I'll tell you on the EVMs, but please don't interrupt me. I'll take 40 seconds because it's very important for your viewers to know. None of us are saying EVMs should be removed, except for Prashant Bhushan. Don't take him seriously. We're talking about the serious people. Let's understand what we're saying. EVMs should not be removed. What are we asking for? Let's be clear. We are saying all EVMs and VVPATs, please tally it. 100% tallying, one. Have these VVPATs barcoded to the EVM, two. Third, print the VVPAT on a paper whose ink does not disappear in 4 months. Fourth, please give us the slip to put on a ballot so there's 100% tallying. That's only 4 demands that we're asking. Is it a wrong demand? I leave it to the people of India to decide. What is wrong in this? You ask me, tell me what is wrong in this demand.
Okay.
Why is the BJP opposing it?
Nalin Kohli, what's wrong with this demand? Because after all, these demands have only come up when Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going into polls. When they won in Himachal Pradesh, when they won in Telangana, when they won Karnataka, these demands somehow didn't quite make it. ये अभी क्यों हुआ?
So Navika ji, I must compliment you, your cephalogist and the team for bringing to all of us and your viewers a fascinating amount of data that really goes very deep and points out to the strategic depth of the BJP and the real problem with the Congress party, which I think Amit Bhai Shah, Honorable Home Minister, quite succinctly put it, that Congress ka bhavishya ye dikkat hai ye. Let's just for a minute come to the data. It was interesting to note from 91, where the BJP was 25%, we've held that baseline of 25, and we've gone as high as almost 70%. 65 or 66% last time, 70 odd percent this time in 2019. The Congress has a much lower baseline, which was very, very interesting to note, that it's almost in single and double digits, 9% to 12%, which means that basically the problem is not about democracy in danger. It's not about communalism. It's not about any of the things that Mr. Rahul Gandhi is speaking and not resonating with the people of India. It's about the Congress party not knowing how to fight an election anymore. It's as simple as that, not being able to appeal to the people of India. And if the EVMs worked, not just Himachal and Karnataka as you pointed out, but worked in 2004, 2009, when the Congress party has touched its peak, which is almost up to 55 odd percent in 2009, 47, 48% to 55% in 2009, then what was the problem? It's the same EVM.
May I reply?
So this is basically crying foul when you know you don't have a political narrative. Second, let's come back to the VVPAT and all this. The Election Commission consistently over the last 2 decades has been raising certain issues when going towards VVPAT. It's not something that's been rejected per se, but there are practical problems. Now somebody, let me give an example. Just before an examination, if I have an examination tomorrow morning and 2 days before I come and say change the syllabus, it's not going to work. So I think this petition also is timed more for making noise and building a narrative of a defeat that the Congress party already understands it's facing it very seriously. That when you don't have the strategic depth politically with the people of India, the voters, then you look for excuses even before the election to say, look, we were saying the EVM doesn't work. The same thing applies to Mamta ji. She won the election, she's there. She's won 3 elections. How is the same machine working for her in the state? Why should the same machine not work for him?
Absolutely. Okay, what's your counter?
I'll just take one. Nalin Bhai is right. Nalin Bhai is right. In 2009, the Congress won, except that the BJP went to court against the EVMs. That's point number 1. In the Honorable Supreme Court, this is Subramaniam Swamy and etc. In the Honorable Supreme Court, both Election Commission and Supreme Court said, listen, we have a problem. These machines can be hacked, hence VVPAT came in. That's the first part. Now his second point, why we all gone now to Supreme Court? We haven't gone now. These cases pending before COVID, it's come up now. That's not in our hands. Had gone before. Third, just one thing for your viewers to understand, and please Times Now may fact check me. Wherever there's an extra vote in EVM, which by the way the Election Commission says is not hacking, it is a mistake and it can happen. So machines can make a mistake. Why is it always that extra vote is only BJP? Why has never an extra vote come to Congress, Aam Aadmi Party, Sappa, Basappa? Only BJP gets. Now, I'm still not casting doubts. Please answer 3 questions. Why shouldn't there be 100% tallying of votes and EVMs, of EVMs and VVPAT? Why shouldn't you have a verifiable trail? Third, why should the the ink disappear? Just 3 questions. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong on these 3 questions.
Very good question, but these questions are before the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court will answer. I am no authority to give an answer when a matter is pending in court. But the question today is, and let me get in Sabha Naqvi. Sabha Naqvi, we are looking at the ground realities. If BJP has to get 370 seats, as has been their slogan so far, 370 on their own, they need a strike rate of 85%. Now, are we looking at an 85% strike rate possible, or is this just a slogan to energize the cadre? Number one. Number two, if we look at the 400 par Nara also, it's a 76% strike rate that the NDA requires. Is that doable, especially when there are big names that are going in the fray, from Annamalai to Dayanidhi Maran to A. Raja to other names like Jitin Prasada in Pilibhit? I mean, there are big faces in the fray in the polling tomorrow. What is your sense from information on the ground?
So, Navika, here's what I think. Definitely the BJP is the dominant party. It will be the single largest party. It will, but the question, for me, the more pertinent question is not the weakness of the Congress, which is established. The question for me is, how does the BJP improve its tally? Simple. So I do think it's a Nara, and I'm actually surprised because strange reports are coming from different places in the country by reporters on the ground. Some of them are visually captured. Some of them are coming out of Muzaffarnagar, which one would think is completely sealed up, with Jayant also gone there. And BJP people are joking over there. Uske aane ke baad that it's becoming unlucky because there's a section of people who are up in arms over there. I don't want to get into caste breakups right now, but you know what I'm referring to. It's there. The videos are there. They're having big panchayats and saying, a community is saying we're not. Then there is a suddenly problem in Churu. So it is not turning out to be, BJP is the dominant party. I would have said UP though, it's like a complete, but there are odd things happening. The election has just begun. Then I'm told that in Tamil Nadu, this is from a candidate, okay, please hear this out, that this 1 lakh promise of the Congress party, this has been very popular. And now, do they have the method to spread this message somewhere? I'm just giving you information. I'm not interested in an argument right now. As a reporter, I call up people. I've been to all these places in the past, and I have people who are also friends who are on the field right now. So there are counterintuitively, I did not go for one trip, and they're saying, "Arey, you didn't come and see what all stories we are getting." So Kairana, Muzaffarnagar are getting into contests, not Pilibhit, but a little bit Saharanpur is also getting into a contest. I'm surprised at some of the news reports that I'm getting, and out of Uttar Pradesh. Then in Bihar, there is still speculation whether Nitish will be able to deliver the seats from where he's putting up candidates. There is speculation. About Bengal, if I may just add something. In Bengal, this is the BJP dominant area which are voting tomorrow, where they should win. But BJP people will confess that because of the culture of political violence and so on and so forth, it's hard to create structures, but you can create narratives from the top. To embed people from village to village, booth to booth, it's been a challenge. So after this phase is over, and I think Jay will bear me out, you don't know, they still don't know what will come in the future phases in Bengal.
But so it's only 3 seats.
Bengal has more.
Only 3 seats in Bengal that are going to polls tomorrow. But interesting information, Sabha, that you've shared. Having said all of this, what's the number you're giving? We are discussing strike rates here.
I can't give a number. No, right now, we are sitting. I thought it was all settled. But now the point is all these little disturbances that we are seeing to what seem like a settled narrative. Will it have a threshold to actually break the BJP barrier? We have to wait and watch that. But there are certain things happening.
Okay.
I will just say that. I'm not sure.
Some rumblings on the ground.
Arun Govil got in his wife's caste. The candidate Arun Govil got in his wife's caste. Said, my wife is XYZ caste. Please vote. He actually bought in his wife. You heard the speech.
But for somebody who's recommending caste as a dominant part of politics and a caste census.
For a census. That's very different from saying my wife is so-and-so caste.
Okay, Jayamrug, can you actually agree with what Sabha Naqvi has said. How are you reading these elections and the ground realities?
Well, one thing is very clear. This is an election where the BJP is going to be putting in its best efforts. I will not stick my neck out for an 85% strike rate, but I will say one thing for certain, that the number of seats that the BJP forfeited its deposits will be at an all-time low. I mean, it might just be a dozen or something. Basically, the party is going to be in a contest in 90 to 95% of the places where it is contesting. That's point number one. Point number two, yes, there have been rumblings on the ground, but absolutely, including the South. I mean, I'm saying that in Tamil Nadu, I don't expect BJP a poor fourth. I'm not expecting that. BJP will be first, second, or a respectable third. I mean, in any of the contests, put all together. So it's that deposit forfeiting era of the BJP is clearly over. That seems to be happening. Second point, there are rumblings on the ground, no doubt. But look, what we are trying to do now is what, Sabha is saying and many of our panelists are saying. These facts, I don't know if they are extrapolatable and scalable over the entire canvas of the state, right? So I may not be able to say that, yes, something is wrong in Muzaffarnagar, something is wrong in Saharanpur. Okay, but is there like a statewide ramification? One doesn't know. I mean, the third point, that whether a lot that the opposition has been talking, can that convert aggressively into votes or not? Because even in states where the opposition is putting up a fight, say like Rajasthan, Maharashtra, Karnataka, they confess that they cannot have the booth administration of the BJP. So I think we need to look at the picture holistically and realistically.
Well, Sumant Raman, you live in Tamil Nadu, and how are you seeing these elections? And are you saying rumblings on a few seats is neither here nor there? Are you seeing BJP in a 300 plus kind of a situation? Or are you saying it's going to drop somewhere along the way? Because that will be a big upset that nobody has expected. What are your predictions?
Navika, from what I can see right now, first of all, let's forget about this 370 and 400 and all that. That is just hype. There's no way that that's going to actually happen. Now, the target for the BJP is a more realistic, trying to get to where they were last time or thereabouts, which again is starting to look a little difficult. Because look, when we started this campaign, the confidence was overwhelming. I mean, it was like the elections itself was a mere formality. It is whether to see they were going to get 350 or 400. Now, state after state, there are issues. Karnataka, they were expected to win 24, 25. Now it looks like the Congress may take up to 8 to 10 seats in Karnataka. Maharashtra, big imponderable. No one really knows how many seats the BJP might have to forfeit in Maharashtra. So those are two states which are spelling big trouble. Now let's go to Rajasthan. Rajasthan was thought a done deal. There was probably one seat maybe. Now they're saying 4 seats are competitive. Look, at every state there are little cracks which are appearing. Not huge, divisions, but little cracks. 2 seats here, 2 seats there, 3 seats here. And that has to be made up somewhere. If you're starting at 303, and if they're losing 15 seats in Maharashtra, which is what many predict that the losses may be more, and another 6-7 seats in Karnataka, and maybe a few more seats along the way in the Hindi belt states, a handful, they have to be made up somewhere. And even in UP, multiple people whom I spoke to are telling me 65 to 68, sir, it's not going to be 77 out of 80 as the opinion polls are saying. Maybe 68, 67 is what they will win. So I don't have a doubt that they are the dominant force in this election. They will end up the single largest party. But clearly now the expectations are they going to get a majority on their own? And if so, how much above a majority? The target for the BJP is now 272 and certainly not 370 as it appeared to be about a month and a half earlier. And this is not just limited to a few states. There are many other states which were sort of written off, which were sort of taken for granted. And even in Bengal, the surge for the BJP, which was expected, is not happening. Now the expectations are they will probably get what they got last time, more or less, not much more than that, if at all. So
well,
there are
Anand Ranganathan.
Maybe
Anand Ranganathan, you know, there is a bit of a, you know, there is a bit of a funny side to this as well. It's like a mother who sends her child for an exam. Either she's worried कि ये pass होगा कि नहीं, or she's worried कि ये अगर first भी आ गया तो कितने percentage से first आएगा, 99 होगा कि 100 होगा. So for Modi, they've set the standards that if he doesn't get 100%, then he hasn't done well. For Rahul Gandhi, the bar is much lower. His strike rate is 12%, or sorry, 17%. So if he gets even a 25%, he's done damn well. Is that how we are analyzing the situation today?
Good evening, Navika, and good evening to my fellow panelists. Three issues here. Let me delve into them one by one. Narendra Modi has a strike rate of Surya Kumar Yadav. Rahul Gandhi has a strike rate of Akhilesh Yadav. So let there be no bones about it. And आज मुझे मोदी जी की दूरदर्शिता का एहसास हो रहा है, because when he started the slogan "Ab ki baar 400 par," I was the first one to castigate him. I said, where is the need? This displays overconfidence. लेकिन अब उन्होंने 400 par कहा. So the dooms, day and naysayers are saying, अरे भाई 270 आ जाएंगे, तो मेजॉरिटी आ जाएगी, लेकिन 400 नहीं जाएगा. अगर वो 300 कहते तो 180 आने वाले हैं. So psychologically, I think he's played a chess game there. But before I come to the other crux of the issue about percentages, Navika, I have to dispel this, what Tehseen, my good friend, has said. You know, I think it is outrageous, absolutely outrageous, bordering on unacceptable, that the opposition parties have been crying hoarse about the EVMs. They've been doing it for decades. That's okay, you can do it. And Tehseen himself has said, Prashant Bhushan ko main value nahi karta, which is all fair and good. Lekin for Rahul Gandhi and others to say they want 100% tallying of VVPATs with EPM is even more outrageous. I'll tell you why. It is akin to saying that Tehseen is monitoring the earth revolving around its axis for 365 days, but he says, nahi, I still doubt whether it does it for all time. I want to monitor for 5 more years, for 365 days into 5, just to be sure. It is, I'll tell you why it is outrageous. One EVM and VVPAT counting takes 50 minutes. Can you imagine? 5 EVMs will take 5 hours, the amount of delay that it will cost. And because of that reason, the Election Commission...
Anand, I didn't expect this of you.
Let the scientists talk about this. Tehseen, please. Please, you border on your expertise. Let me just talk about this. The Election Commission
trust me, this is my
went
expertise.
to... Please do not interrupt.
Stick to biology.
All right, allow him to finish his point.
Navika, this is very unfair. Yes, Election Commission has said for one tallying of EVM, it takes 50 minutes. It's going to take hours on end for us to tally. For that reason, they went to Indian Statistical Institute, Chennai Mathematical Institute, and IIT Chennai. They devised a mathematical formula, and they said not more than 2% of VVPATs should be tallied with EVMs to give you a fair amount of statistical analysis and authenticity that everything is hunky-dory, which is what was agreed by Supreme Court, 2%. Now 118 crore people have cast their vote since VVPAT came in. Not a single complaint has been upheld as being true. Not one. ये लोग मजाक बना रहे हैं, इनको साइंस का आता पता है नहीं, घूमते फिरते पान खाते चले आते हैं, और 100% टैलिंग होगी तो ये 1 साल लगेगा इलेक्शन के रिजल्ट्स आने में. पर ये क्यों डर रहे हैं इतना? इसलिए डर रहे हैं कि कांग्रेस का, अगर बीजेपी का स्लोगन है आपकी बार 400 पार, कांग्रेस का आपकी बार 40 पार.
Okay, just allow me. First of all, Anand, I understand you're very good in biology, but certainly astrophysics is not your strong point. Suddenly, sorry.
Strong point.
अरे भैया, अरे bro, you talk or I'll talk. अभी आप बीच में बोलोगे.
I thought you're a lawyer. When did you become an astrophysicist?
Yeah, I'm not, but he definitely not his strong point. Now let me just.
No, but then that doesn't mean that it's your strong point. And you're castigating him on astrophysics as if you're an astrophysicist.
Of course, but can I give the answer?
नहीं कमाल है भाई. एक तुम्हारी.
Let your viewers get the answer. He's made
because
some
you're an astrophysicist.
No, I'm not an astrophysicist. Since he's raised it, allow me. Why do you have to defend something that's wrong? Allow me to make the answers. One. Now let's leave that out now, because now that'll be a waste of time. Now let me come to the straight issue. Anand, by his own admission, says, as the Election Commission says, it'll take us multiple hours to calculate all VVPATs and EVMs. You know how much time it will take? 1 day. 1 day. Now what Anand is saying is, no, 1 day is too much in a democracy of India to tally everything. Now what is the solution for that? You also have machines, barcode scanners that can scan your VVPAT with your EVM, which you can do as you do in all sort of malls where you have machines that tally your bill. You can use scanners. You don't want to do it. You don't want the scanning to happen. You don't want to spend 1 day to check 100% tallying.
No, what do you mean by? What do you mean by you don't want to do it? What do you mean? You and your government have been in power. You didn't do it. Why do you want the BJP to do it? Why do you want the election? No, you
You don't want your viewers to know.
आपके पास आंसर नहीं है. आंसर सुप्रीम कोर्ट के पास है. आप सोचते हैं कि आपके पास आंसर है. Nalin Kohli.
This is not fair.
Nalin Kohli.
You gave Anand a free right to spread lies about the EVMs.
I'm sorry. No, you cannot make that charge at me.
Of course.
I have given you more time than I have given Anand Raghunathan, and I will decide. I will decide on this show.
You're not allowing me to answer.
Nalin Kohli. This is not a rally. This is not a rally. No.
Let the viewers of Times now know
Nalin Kohli.
Misleading and the answers are not coming.
Nalin Kohli, do you think it will take only 1 day to
1 day.
Okay.
1 day.
Nalin Kohli, is there any proof that there will be only 1 day? Tehseen, why don't you conduct the show?
No, I think Navika ji, see, in fairness to Tehseen, and we have to be fair to him, he after all is following the magic wand of his leader, or the leader he admires, Mr. Rahul Gandhi. Mr. Rahul Gandhi is capable of everything. He can convert a potato into sona, gold. Yahan se aloo dalo, wahan se sona niklega. That's his quote, not mine.
Actually, that was Modi ji.
And this is Mr. Rahul Gandhi says, kya chutki mein aisa sab kuch ho jayega. For him, everything is like a game. Life is far more serious than that. This is the Honorable Supreme Court, Bench 2. That's Justice Sanjeev Khanna, will be the Chief Justice of India in a few months from now. This is a court that on a daily basis listens to matters. The government wins some, the government loses some. It's not as if it's going one way. So you can't cast aspersions and then think that you sitting on a show will sit down and suddenly say we are more wise than those who are looking at it, looking at affidavits, looking at the data, looking at all points of view. There has to be a line. This desperation of the Congress party to build a narrative in the face of an impending defeat is taking democracy to dangerous, extremes. You either believe in democracy or you don't. Either you believe that the Election Commission is fair or it's not. You either believe the EVM works or it doesn't. You can't do this that when we win the elections, the EVMs are okay, the EC is okay, the courts are okay when we win cases. The minute you lose a case, the courts are bad. When you lose an election, the EVM is bad. The BJP is manipulating it. This kind of double standards is dangerous. And in fairness, I mean, for a second, stopping the fact that I'm a BJP spokesperson, in fairness, this is what is costing the Congress party. They don't know what to go to the people with. So every day in a social media age, in a media age, they come up with a bizarre theory somewhere and think it's from people. In the assembly elections 6 months ago, less than 6 months ago, they said unemployment is high. They said price rise is high. They said everything that they are repeating today, the people of 3 sets resoundingly rejected them.
But at the same time, when 3 states rejected them, Himachal Pradesh accepted them. Himachal Pradesh gave a different verdict. And there as well, the BJP was the incumbent. So Sumansi,
Telangana.
Absolutely. And Sumansi Raman, that is the question. That is the question. While the intricacies of the technology and of all these questions being raised by Tehseen Poonawalla, I'm not the expert and I don't think this forum can decide what's going to happen. Those arguments, Tehseen, very humbly, those arguments have been put before the Supreme Court. They will call the experts they need to speak to and they will decide. I can't answer on that. But Sumansi Raman,
on national TV.
Bhai, हमारी lies हो या truth हो, the fact is we are not deciding. We are getting to the other argument. The argument is, why is it acceptable when you
Of course you lied about it.
Why is it unacceptable when you have not even put the first vote in the EVM?
Navika, please let me read this.
अरे तुम इलेक्शन कमीशन को ही बोलोगे ना जिनके खिलाफ केस है भाई.
No, let me finish, please. Yes. Please, the question was to me.
Yes, sir.
The question was to me. Please let me finish. Two very important points. Point number one, this is not about BJP, Congress, DMK, Samajwadi or anybody else. The process must not only be fair, but must be seen to be fair. Now, the bottom line is very simple. 70,000 crore is being spent, is an estimated amount that is being spent on the general election. Taking 12 to 14 hours more to count all the VVPATs, yes, if it ensures complete transparency, and assuming the BJP wins big, it will put an end to this story once and for all. So I don't see any harm in that. Second, there was this story which was broken in 2019, following which the whole issue went to court, of the mismatch, which the Election Commission today told the Supreme Court it never happened, of the mismatch between number of votes polled and number of votes counted in 373 constituencies, with the documentary data which Poonam Agarwal had compiled and put out in an article. It was on the basis of this that subsequently the matter went to court. Now, the Election Commission simply needs to answer why was the data taken off the website subsequently. It is one very simple question. Second, what is the reason why the Election Commission needs to sort of say that we won't count? What is the harm in counting 12 hours, 24 hours more for a process that is going on for 2.5 months? Heavens will not fall. It's not hugely expensive, but to have a few additional teams to do that
Anand
counting.
Ranganathan, respond. Anand Ranganathan, respond.
If there is a clear match between votes polled and votes counted, between EVM,
you know, all of these arguments are in court. All of these arguments are in court, and the court has still observed that there is no need for suspicion. But they don't get it. They will never let this matter rest. Isn't that the point? And number two, Suman Siraman says, you know, it is not only supposed to be fair, but it is supposed to be seen to be fair. ये तो कुछ भी सीन टू बी फेयर नहीं होने देते. इनको डिक्टेटरशिप लगती है, इनको everything they have a negative viewpoint on. So how can it ever be seen to be fair?
No,
Navika,
now,
Dr. Raman, I didn't
once and for all.
Please.
Put an end to this controversy once and for all.
Yes, Anand Ranganathan, 30 seconds.
So many lies have been spread by astrologers pretending to be astrophysicists. I need to come in here. Number one, I am not pretending to be a mathematician. Let me now quote from Times of India, quote, Election Commission then consulted experts from the Indian Statistical Institute, IIT Kanpur and Chennai Mathematical Institute, among others, to devise a scientific formula to arrive at the right percentage and sample of VVPAT slips that should be counted to verify the electronic result. They concluded that the ratio of one polling station per constituency was statistically sound and representative enough to audit accuracy of the voting system. After this, not a single mismatch has been found. 118 crore people have voted.
One line.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm completely out of time. We can debate this issue till the cows come home. But when the first vote has to be polled tomorrow morning, in less than 12 hours from now, why is the EVM bahana resurfacing? Why are we not talking about the issues? Because there are still 44 days more in which this election is going to go on. The question is, what is the nervousness? And if you look at the numbers, the track record of Narendra Modi versus Rahul Gandhi, is that what worries the opposition? And is that why the BJP is more confident? Of course, all of this will be decided by the people of India because that's how they're going to poll. But to create doubts in the minds of people, is that democracy, and is that actually being seen as a healthy step towards building a democracy? It's a question I think everybody needs to dwell on. We leave it at that. Thank you very much to all my panelists for joining me on NewsHour's Debate number 1.